Well, congratulations on your website going live. This is the training video for IamChicago.com. So, as you can see on my screen, I have the website up and running, and I am now going to go through the process of how to make changes and maintaining this website. So, typically, what I like to do is to have two tabs open. That way, I can see my changes alongside the actual changes going live. So, in my second tab, I will go to the admin, which is imchicago.com/wp-admin, and I'm going to pause this video and put in the credentials. You should have received the credentials by now. If you forgot your password, there is a lost your password feature down here where you would put in the username or email address that is associated to the website, and it will email you a temporary password for you to reset. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video right now. Once you're logged in, you should see a screen similar to this. This is the WordPress dashboard. This is going to be where you go and basically add in and update, edit, delete different contents on your website. Just a couple of things I want to kind of point out. The left-hand menu is basically how you navigate throughout the WordPress admin. Users will basically, for security purpose, I won't click on it just so that nobody knows exactly how many users we have. But once you're in there, you could click on users and you can see who has access to the website. You can also update your password there, as well as add new users if needed. So yeah, that's basically the admin. The first thing I want to go over is basically pages, because most likely what you're going to do is update pages on your site. So pages are easy to get to. They're just under pages. So go ahead and click on pages, and essentially this will showcase all the different pages on your site. The one that has front page next to it is basically your home page. So let's go ahead and let's edit that. And essentially this content here on the home page is what shows up over here. The title of the page, ad campaign, is this part right here. And the under custom fields, you'll have homepage subtext. You don't want to change this. You don't want to delete it either. What you want to do is under the value here we have 2016/18. That's this piece of text over here. So if I wanted to change that, let's say 2016-2018, you just click on, you change the value and click on update here. You'll see like this yellow flicker that just happened. If I go to the other tab and I refresh, it now has 2016-18. So let's go ahead and change this back. Click on update. What's interesting here is for custom fields to update it, you have to click the button down here. For everything else, the title and the content, later on I'll show you what the feature image is used for. You'll click on the blue button over here on the right hand side. This should be straightforward. The content, it's just like Word. You got bold, italicized, strike through. You can even create bullet point lists, quotes, left align things, center it, right hand align things. You can make things hyperlink by highlighting pieces of text that you want to make into a hyperlink, clicking on this chain, putting in the URL, and if you wanted to have the hyperlink open up a new tab, just have this checkbox checked. And once you're happy with the settings or the changes, just go ahead and update. So it's pretty self-explanatory. You can even click on the this last icon here, the toolbar toggle, to have access to even more things, like different heading styles, underlining things, changing text color if you wanted to, things of that sort. So very intuitive and should be straightforward. Along with your care package, you should be receiving a EasyWP manual, which will go into in-depth details of different things you can do with this content change area here. The one last piece I want to showcase is adding media, which is basically the way for you to add pictures to your site. Once you click on add media, you'll see a pop-up that happens, And adding new images is as easy as basically grabbing an image from your desktop and dragging it into the window. And once you do that, you can let go of your mouse and it'll automatically upload the file for you. If you're editing, if you wanted to make changes to an existing image that's already on the site, which is, for example, let's say I wanted to change this image out. Essentially, you're not going to upload a new image, but you're going to swap an image with something that you're going to upload. So that way, you don't have to, if you wanted to change this image, which is, I think it's being used on, maybe it's just the home page. Let me just double check. So maybe that's a bad example, but for example, let's say you wanted to change this image, which I see it's being used on YGO Local, Media, maybe in those two pages. So if you wanted to change this image, but you don't want to re-upload it, or change the image on every single place that's being used on the website, I suggest what you do is you'll go to Media. Let's leave this place. Find the image. I think it's this one. And then you want to click on Upload New File. And then from there, it's not as intuitive. You have to click on Choose File and then basically browse your computer for that image. My recommendation is if you are going to swap out an image with a new image, you want to make sure it's the same file dimensions. In this case, it's 546 by 502. You also want to make sure that it's the same file type. So if it's a JPEG, you want to replace it with a JPEG. If it's a PNG or a GIF, you want to replace it with the same type. You don't have to make sure that the file name's the same because it'll automatically take your image and rename it. But the file type and the dimensions are important. So I wanted to just showcase that there is a difference between swapping out an existing image and adding a new image, which let's go back to the home page and I can show you an example of adding a new image. So we'll go back to Add Campaign, which is the home page. I'm just going ahead and creating a new image for demonstration purposes. Alright, so I have a new image that I want to basically have it show up underneath the content on the home page, like down here. So I'm going to click on Add Media, grab my image, drag it to the that pop-up window. I wanted to give it a brief description. That way it's easy to later find it. Right now it's not too bad just because we don't have that many images, so there's not a lot of scrolling. But for bigger websites with tons and tons of images, it's good to give it a description so that you can search for it later. So home page image, and I'm gonna click on Insert into Page, and we can now see that that's shown up there. So if I click on Update and refresh this page, it should show up. So there you go. So let's go ahead and delete that just because this is for testing purposes. Click on Update, double check. I always go back and forth. I always double check everything I do. So in Media, let's now go to Media because we want to delete that file just because it was a dummy image. Now it's not, like I said, it's not too bad with this site just because there's not that many images and I can easily find it here. But let's say there's tons and tons of images. Once there's more images, this will become more, you'll have to scroll and scroll. But if I kept things organized, I can just type in home page. I think I used 2 words and basically find that image. So let's go ahead and delete permanently, and that will remove it from the website. I went through and I did basically put descriptions in most of the places. Let's see, not the media assets there for downloadable purposes, but for everything else there should be a description. So there you go, and you can easily just update the images by searching for them. So that's basically how you add the home page. Every other page is going to be similar to the home page. The only difference between the home page and everything else, all the other pages, is the home page does not have a featured image. And it also has the homepage subtext so that you can update this special customized text that's in red that shows up above the title. Let's go ahead and edit casting call, or as an example, use casting call as a page that we want to edit. So I'll go back, I'll click on all pages, look for a page called casting call, and select edit. So as you can see, the title of the page is basically the big text over here, and the content is basically what you see is what you get. So this is bold and italicized, so that equates to this being bold and italicized, and then the rest of the content. I did want to point out that there is a difference between a paragraph break and a line break. So here, because it's a second paragraph, that's an actual paragraph break. A paragraph break will include an extra line, and then also basically it's what you do in the event that you want to create a paragraph. You'll just press enter. But if you just want a line break, which is basically having the text go right underneath and not create a space, it's shift enter. So you want to hold on the shift key and press enter. So I'm going to go ahead and just make it into a paragraph break because that's what it was. I see that this might be a typo or spelling mistake, but I think that might have been legit. So in terms of images, so you want to control, let's say you wanted to change this image here. Well, that's done under featured image. Yeah, this featured image area is what controls the the left hand side. Now, if a page does not have an image featured image specified, it will default to the default image for pages, which is the RU Chicago. But you can override that picture with a specific image for that. So let's choose the right one. I think it's this one. Casting call photo, casting call page side image, perfect. And I think on this site there's only 2 pages that actually have an override. Well, 3 pages if we count the home page. The home page will always be, oh, maybe it is part of the default. Let's see. Okay, so the default is what the home page is using. All the other pages has an override. So casting call, that's an override. The I am Chicago is an override, and override. I think context is the one that looks different. Yeah, so that's the one with the black background. So if you don't put a featured image, it will use the same image that is on the home page, or the home page uses the default image just because there is no image that's being set up for featured image. So if I go back and I click on the ad campaign, click on edit, there is no featured image. So it defaults to this, and that's set by the system. Of course, if I want to change this for the home page, I can always set a new featured image here, or replace the default image through media library. I think all the other pages are self-explanatory. Let's go over media because it does have this media download section. So we'll click on pages. We'll click on edit for media. And let's say we wanted to create a new media to download. So let's say, again, since we don't want a paragraph break, we wanted to click on Shift Enter so that it's just a regular line break. And let's say there's an audio file. So audio file download, and let's say it's an MP3 file. I'm gonna go ahead and create the text. I know there's a little piece of link there, so let's remove link. Alright, I'm gonna click on update. So here it'll have the new download, but it's not a hyperlink yet, and we need to upload our MP3. So next thing I want to do is I want to go to media, and then essentially, let's say I had an MP3 file. Let's see, I think I do have an MP3 file. Let's see if I could try to upload it. So I have an MP3 file. I'm gonna click and then drag it into this window. And once it's finished uploading, might take a while. Yeah, once it's finished uploading, you want to click on the file, and you want to go over on your right hand side where it next to URL, because that's the actual location of the file that you uploaded, and you want to copy the entire content that's in there. Make sure you get everything, and then copy. And now you want to go back to pages. You want to select media, highlight the phrase or the wordings that you want to create a hyperlink to the file. Click on the insert link, paste the URL of the location of the file, and typically you would want all these media download links to open up in a new tab. Click on add link and then update. And now when we refresh the page, we now have this as a hyperlink that when clicked on, in this case, will allow you to play the MP3 music that I just uploaded. So that's how you add more media. Let's go ahead. So it's a couple step process. What you want to do is you want to go and the order doesn't really matter. You can either go to media and upload your files first. Click on the file once it's uploaded so that you can grab the URL location, and then come to the media page, type in the text, highlight it, and then click on the insert link and then paste the copied location of the asset, and then update. And then that's how you do it in terms of adding media. I think contact doesn't have anything important, and then why go local doesn't have anything important. So the FAQs. So the FAQs is kind of a unique page. It's got the questions, and then you can click on each of the questions to get the answer. Of course, you can close it as well. This one has a hyperlink, and it goes to another site. I'm gonna open a whole bunch of them. So let's naturally you'll probably go to pages, and then want to click on edit under the FAQs to get to this page, and you'll see that, oh, programmers note the error is ignored. Instead, make FAQ modifications under FAQs on the left hand side. So what this is saying is anything that you type in this box, which you would naturally do for all the other pages, are currently being ignored. And the reason for that is because this is kind of higher functionality in terms of just, a piece of text or an image that would just show up. This has a couple functionalities in terms of, first, when on page load, there's just the answers, and then you have this little animation going with once you click on it with the answers. And then also you probably want the ability to be able to reorganize or reorder this very easily without having to do a lot of work. So because of this, all these types of functionality, this part's being ignored. Instead, it's asking you to go over here that says FAQs, and this is where you would make your FAQ changes. So let's start out with creating a new FAQ. So I'll click on add new. This is going to be the question, and this is going to be the answer. So let's say, well, this is the question, and here is the answer. And you'll have the same functionality as the pages where you can edit, make it bold, make it hyperlink. You can even add an image if you wanted to, change colors and things and so forth. So I'm going to click on publish. Let's refresh the page. I believe this one's going to show up at the top. I think naturally, by default, any new questions will show up at the top. So this is the question. The question is this part right here, and this is the answer. Here is the answer, is essentially the content part here. Now let's say I wanted to reposition that so that it's not the first. You'll want to go and click on reorder, and then it's as easy as click and drag. So let's say I wanted it to show up after do I need RSVP. So I'll click and drag it down to that section and click on update. And once I refresh this page, it won't be at the top anymore, and it'll be right after the do I need to RSVP, which is right here. Perfect. And now that I'm done with that for demonstration purposes, I'm going to go ahead and delete that. So let's see. You can always search for it, but since it's right here, I'm just going to go ahead and click on trash. This is the question. Click on trash. And if I refresh, it is now gone. So perfect. So that's the FAQ. So essentially that's basically it in terms of maintaining this website with the changes that you can make. There are some minor other ones that you can do, such as going under appearance and then click on the menu, which will allow you to reorder the menu as well as changing the wording of the menu. So instead of saying the FAQs and having it just be FAQs, you'll go appearance, menus, you'll open up the FAQs, and then deleting the wording, and then click on save menus. And that'll allow you, and then you can also, and just like reordering the FAQs, you can click and drag here, and this will allow you to change the orders of the menu items. One last thing before we talk about backing up your site and why it's important is, let's go back to the home page, because it did have the special custom field to change the 2016-2018. Go ahead and click on Add Campaign, which is the home page. This area right here, sometimes by default WordPress may not show it just because it is an advanced field and it's customized. You'll want to click on the right hand corner, click on Screen Option, and make sure that Custom Fields is checked, because if it's unchecked, you won't see it. So make sure it's checked. And once it's checked, it should save to your profile that, oh, you are the type of user that wants to see custom fields. So that's the last piece. So let's talk about backing up and why backing up is important. So WordPress is a living, breathing organism that you get a whole bunch of benefits, great benefits, easy to use interface, continuous improvements, continuous security updates and enhancements. So because of that, you want to back up often, because once you back up, you'll want to update your site. The update to the site will plug any vulnerabilities to the site. It'll also every so often, I think every couple months, WordPress will upgrade their core software, allowing more features, more enhancements to the software. And you want to back up first, because some of those enhancements and some of those security fixes may not be backwards compatible. It is possible that it could break your site. So in the event that that does happen, at least you backed up your site before you did the upgrades, so that it is easy for a web developer to revert your changes and basically get your site back to its normal state, and then they can look through the the upgrades and the security fixes to make sure that the site has been the code site is compatible. They might make some new programming changes to make the your site compatible to the newest updates, so that it doesn't look funny or doesn't work, so that it also works properly. Now this is not an excuse to not back up and to not upgrade because if you leave an old website for a really long time, eventually it's just a matter of time that it's going to get hacked, because WordPress is a living, breathing organism. It continues to grow. Old stuff continues to die off and things like that. So you would want to keep up with the times and keep things upgraded, because there's always security, and also you want it for the enhancements as well. So hopefully I made a point that yes, you always want to keep your site up to date. How often, it kind of depends on you. Um, if I've created your websites, I have automatically have your WordPress sites updated in terms of the plugins. The plugins automatically get updated, and WordPress will always be up to date for the current version. So right now we're at 4.4. So if 4.5 comes out, or 4.51 or 4.6 come out, those will get updated automatically. It's when it reaches 5.0, when it's an actual new version up, that will require a manual process to upgrade. But in any case, you still want to back up, just because even though if WordPress upgrades are compatible typically and are automatically, your plugins sometimes don't. There's a lot of third-party plugins being used on sites, especially custom sites like this. You'll want to make sure that your backups are up to date. And there's always the chance that a website can just get hacked for no reason that's WordPress related. The server could have been vulnerable, and things like that. So I recommend backing up, at least once a week, once a month. It just depends on how often you make changes. If you made a lot of changes, then back it up right after that changes, because backing up also protects your the site from yourself in the event that you made a change that could have broken the site. Well, if you made it back up at your last change, then you can at least revert back to that change. So back up often, and then you should be good. So this concludes our demo for the training of the I Am Chicago website. If you have questions, you always can contact me. Well, thank you for your time. Bye.